Hello everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Base and Beyond. So today we're going to have a look at the Hiby R1 DAP. It's an interesting little DAP at a very affordable price point of just $85. It offers 5 different colors. So first of all, I have the green color over here, as you can see. So we get 5 different colors: orange, black, white, green and blue. If you go for the value set with the Hiby earphone, a 32GB SanDisk Ultra SD card and a microfiber pouch, which you can see here. So that will set you back $99. But for full transparency, Hiby has sent me the value set here for review purpose. I'm not interested to discuss the tech specs of this DAP, to be honest. I have the specs up for you on the screen. You can check it out yourselves. Also, the tech specs are available at Hiby's website too. Link is in the description. So let's go for the unboxing now. So guys, let's come to the unboxing section. This is the box itself that the Hiby R1 comes in. I think it's quite a decent looking box for the asking price, and the overall unboxing experience is premium as well. So there are 3 protective films that are included with the Hiby R1. One is already pre-applied at the front, one is pre-applied at the back, and you do get an additional screen protector here for future use. You get a USB 2.0 cable as well. So there's a Type A to Type C cable. And moving on, you do get a color matched strap as well. So this is quite unique, and I think that other manufacturers are not providing like this kind of strap with their entry-level DAPs like R1. Next, you get the Hiby's earphone. So these are a pair of bullet-shaped earphones that are included as a part of the package of the value set. So moving on, there are like 3 ear tips included with the Hiby's earphone as well. So small, medium and large. One pair is already with the IM itself. So that's about it. You do get finally you do get a SanDisk micro SD card, 32GB, that's already inserted inside the DAP. I'm not going to show that to you separately because it's nothing like really new or groundbreaking. If you really want to see SD card, you can always Google it, and we'll move on to the next section now. So this is a very good unboxing experience overall, considering that this is a budget DAP. Especially if you get the value set, you get included micro SD card and IEM. So thanks to Hiby for sending me the value set as well. Otherwise, I would need to purchase the micro SD card separately just to run this DAP. So thank you, Hiby. Big up. Guys, first of all, I would like to discuss 2 major annoyances with the Hiby R1. First is the volume lock issue. For some weird reason, the R1 has its volume capped to maximum 54 out of 100 on both low and high gain. Initially, I was very confused as to why this R1 cannot drive even efficient IEMs like the K-Fine Clean to its maximum performance. I was going to give it a negative review overall, especially compared to dongles, which provided much better output power at cheaper prices. Imagine my surprise when I found out that you can go to the About section of the device. So I'll just briefly show that to you. So you can go to the About section, you can press on this Hiby logo a couple of times and it will unlock the developer options. So you go back, you go to the system settings, and from there you go to developer options, and voila, you get the volume lock. So if you disable it, now as you can see, you can go up to 100. Before you could only go 54 out of 100. So this is quite frustrating that Hiby didn't let us know this in advance, especially the reviewers. I wish they did. Alright, so my next major annoyance is the idle shutdown. By default, the R1 shuts itself down after a couple of minutes of inactivity. I found this really annoying at first, as I like to take breaks between my music listening sessions. Thankfully, you can go to system settings, and from here, the idle shutdown is usually on by default. You can turn it off, so I'll show it to you. So there's a maximum 10 minutes limit. So if you turn this off, then the device will keep active, and you can manually shut it off if you feel the need to. So now I'd like to discuss some things that work for me when it comes to the Hiby R1 DAP. First of all, the display. The display features a modern bezel-less look. It has a 3-inch bright and crisp display with 800 by 480 resolution. The text looks sharp and is easy to read. when you max out the display brightness, you can easily read the text in a very bright environment or even under direct sunlight. Next, I'd like to talk about the sound quality of the R1. So the R1 is a smooth sounding and mostly neutral sounding DAP. It has a boost in its upper mids region, akin to its big brother, the Hiby R6 Gen 3, but nothing too intense. Bass sounds well-rounded and it reflects the original tuning of the IEM. There is no digital or ESS fabric layer present here. So the sound of the Hiby R1 is actually very customizable. If you go to Music, come in the settings section, there is the MSCB options here. So this is basically Hiby's proprietary software that you can use to tune the IEM sound as per as your liking. Here are options like overall temperature, make it warm or bright sounding. You can adjust the bass extension, bass texture, note thickness, vocals, female overtones, etc. So you can go back and then you can find the sound field plugin. You can use this plugin to enhance the sound stage of your IEMs. There's a slider included here as well. You can use this as per as your liking. The non-Android Hiby OS is actually quite stable and bug-free, at least up until the point I've tested it. There's even support for OTA updates. If you go to System, you can come to this part, Firmware Update. You can go two ways. You can update the software automatically via OTA, or obviously you have to connect to the Wi-Fi network, or you can go to Hiby's website, download the firmware, place it inside the SD card and update it manually from here. So going back, there's even great options like streaming media. Hiby has included Tidal and Cubase in this little DAP, and so far there's no offline playback support for Tidal yet, but I believe that Hiby might include that feature in the future, as they are quite reputed when it comes to updates. So the battery life is quite decent. I got to 10 to 12 hours on a single charge. I used the high gain and volume was around 70 plus. This is lower than the advertised 15 hours, but it makes sense since I'm a loudness junkie. The R1 is actually very ergonomic and pocketable, coming in at only 70 grams. It's very lightweight. The build quality is great too, made out of plastic and glass. It doesn't feel cheap at all. And the transparent sides actually add to the premium feel too. If you have a big library or music playlist, there's no need to fret. This DAP supports microSD cards up to 2 terabytes. I've already inserted a 32 GB card here. Okay, so now I would like to discuss some things that didn't work for me when it comes to the Hiby R1 DAP. Both the volume lock and idle shutdown issues were definitely a big letdown for me, as I discussed at the beginning of this video. Fortunately, as I described earlier, there are some workarounds available. Next, there is no 4.4mm balanced option available with this DAP. It's a big con for me, as dongles at cheaper prices offer this feature and with better driving power as well. The 3.5mm single-ended port offers 101 milliwatt power, which is good enough to drive efficient IEMs, but it won't be able to drive the more power-hungry IEMs and headphones. Next, the default music player actually has some issues for me as well. It was unable to detect the album out of my library properly. All my other DAPs, including non-Android ones, doesn't seem to have this issue. The R1 is also not great as a transport. When you pair it with dongles at louder volumes, the tracks start stuttering and skipping. I suspect it's due to the lower powered USB Type-C port. I had the same issues with the Kind RU7, Blonde V1 and Silas CD20 DACs. Now we will do a comparison of the Hiby R1 to the Blonde V1 DAC. Both the Hiby R1 and the Blonde V1 uses Cirrus Logic CS43131 chips, but the V1 actually has two of them. Both have a neutral and smooth sound quality, but the R1 features a more forward upper mid. I did not notice either of them to add any excessive coloration to the sound of the IEMs. The V1 has a 4.4 balance port, as you can see here, and it also performs better with harder to drive IEMs or headphones. It even offers more headroom for the more efficient ones. The Hiby R1 offers more versatility and customization to sound quality with features like plugins and MSCB. The R1 is a standalone device and offers streaming apps, whereas the V1 requires a source and can be a burden on its battery life and USB-C port. Next, we'll be comparing the Hiby R1 to the Hidy's ST2 Pro Nebula DSP cable. This time we have a Cirrus Logic CS43131 chip versus a ES921 8SC Pro DAC chip from ESS Sabre. First of all, I would like to give a shout out to Hidy's for incorporating a flagship DAC chip inside a DSP cable for only $36. It's crazy how good the budget stuff is getting nowadays. Anyway, coming to the sound quality, I felt that the ST2 Pro cable offered a more warmish and analog tonality compared to the Hiby R1. This DSP cable actually sounds slightly more colored compared to the more neutral sounding Hiby R1, but it's also more musical. In terms of power output, the R1 has the upper hand as it offers more headroom from its 3.5mm single-headed port. Again, the R1 offers more versatility due to its features like plugins and MSCB. So finally, we have reached the conclusion of this review, and I would like to give the Hiby R1 a solid 3.5 out of 5 rating. It's a great entry-level DAP, especially for those who want to avoid the hassle of using a dongle with their phones. That being said, the Hiby R1 doesn't excel as a transport device since it struggles to power the dongles to their full potential compared to phones, laptops, or even higher-end DAPs. As a standalone device though, it's very solid. Hiby has done a good job with the software enhancements and included accessories. However, the absence of a 4.4mm balance jack is a significant drawback for me personally. Despite this, there's definitely a market for the Hiby R1. It's an affordable option for those who need streaming app support and a capable device for driving entry to mid-level IEMs. So that's it for the review, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This is Fahim signing out of Base and Beyond. Make sure to comment and subscribe for future content. Peace.